to do them though?
Yeah, well, let's get the recording started. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we're going to talk about social media challenges. For those of you who are coming in now, we got a late start. My bad. So yeah, we need a group. We really are going to talk about them as if they're on Facebook. I don't know how. I mean, honestly, I don't know how you do them anyplace else. Although there's no reason why you couldn't. I suppose if you have an audience on Twitter, an audience on Instagram, you could try to put a challenge out there. I just don't know how. I don't know how to do that. And I've never tried it. So let's just talk about challenges. And I'm going to do a screen share. And I do have some slides. And we'll go from there. I'm going to assume you can see my screen. And you can hear me. So let's just rock and roll. Social media challenges. Let's talk about Facebook. The idea of a challenge is to get a group of highly targeted prospects for your business together and get them all into a private Facebook group that you run. And inside this group, and much of these notes and these slides and a lot of this stuff is taken directly from the MLSP training on how to do challenges. So inside this group during the challenge, you get, usually run a challenge for 5 to 10 days and you take them through a series of learning experiences, whatever it is. So the first question that really has to be addressed, and where you want to start if you're going to do a challenge, is you want to start with what is the end result that you're trying to accomplish. So let me give you some examples. For example, you might decide that what you want to do is, for you, Charlene, since you're still in MLSP, you might decide that what you want to do is get a couple people into MLSP. So you could, in principle, start with a challenge, and I've done this. That could be a Facebook challenge, how to get more leads, sales, etc. on Facebook. It could be an attraction marketing challenge. You could teach people the essence of attraction marketing and lead them by the hand into the $10 10-day trial. France, I don't know. Have you thought about doing a challenge? What is there anything that comes to your mind as something that you would try? So you have a coaching group, France?
Are you talking to me?
Only if your name is France.
Okay, so that's me. I have done challenges. I've done a 5-day challenge where the goal was to hopefully get people to sign up to purchase products, the toxic-free products. And so I did a 5-day home detox challenge where I did a lot of education. And I think I gave a whole lot more than I should have, is what I feel now. But that was a year ago I did it. And then more recently in May, I did a 5-day challenge that I called Optimal Health, Body, Mind, and Spirit. Again, giving education to set up for the people that were going to, that one was, I don't think I call it a challenge. I did a 28-day challenge in June. People who wanted to do the transformation program that Asante has. And so that's what I've done.
Okay, so your end result of your challenges was to get people into the Asante products.
Correct.
That's what you were trying to accomplish, and that's a perfectly good way to do a challenge. So whatever MLM you're in, or whether you have a coaching program, or whether you want to try to bring them into MLSP, you can structure a challenge with that goal in mind. And so then the question becomes is, what does the front end of the challenge look like? And well, I mean, here's some ideas. Body transformation challenges. Video marketing has been a very popular challenge in recent months, the last year, especially Facebook Live video challenges. So, because a lot of people are afraid of camera. They're afraid to get on camera. And both of you are very good at getting on camera. So you could run a challenge where you taught people how to do Facebook Lives. That would be one thing you could consider doing. So, you know, there's lots and lots and lots of ideas out there, and it's whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you think you know and you'd like to try to teach. So what is a typical and what you did, France, is if you have a network marketing team, you could create a challenge for your team too that forces them to actually use your company's product. So, I mean, that's an interesting concept because a lot of people, I mean, I know, now, I'm not active, I think you know that I'm not actively building Asante right now, but I'm still in Asante, I still use the products. But I had a team growing, but I had a whole lot of people that weren't using the products. They were there, but they weren't using them. So I didn't do it, but you know, I could have considered running a challenge like the one you ran, which was aimed at getting people to actually use the products, get them on the products. So I mean, that's another possibility. So the important thing is the important thing is to start with the end in mind. You know, you want to think about what it is you're trying to accomplish. If what you're trying to accomplish is simply run a 5-day challenge, and it's going to be free, and you're going to give valuable information at the end of for 5 days. I mean, that's wonderful, but what do you want to accomplish at the end of the 5 days? Do you have a coaching program? Do you want them buying products? Do you want them trying the MLSP 10-day trial? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Because you want to structure the challenge around that concept. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the one thing is, a lot of people think they don't know enough to do a challenge, but the reality is you do. And here's one thing to consider. And both of you ladies are very qualified, of course, and you have a lot of good information to offer people, but there may be other people that would be on or be watching this replay and may think they don't know enough. So the reality is, all you got to do is be one step ahead of the audience. And the fact of life is that any one of us could run a challenge on any topic we wanted to run a challenge on, even if we knew nothing about that topic today, because all we have to do is get one step ahead of the audience and teach them. So if there's something, one of the things you can consider, and it's an interesting concept, is if there's something, there's something you want to learn. I'm going to skip over this one. It's too much. You can read it if you want, but if there's something you want to learn that you yourself don't know how to do, go learn how to do it. Run a challenge and teach people how to do it. I mean, because there's tons and tons and tons of training out there. And of course, that takes time. So in your case, Charlene, you might not have time to go learn something new that you don't want to take the time. On the other hand, you're trying to figure out how to make ManyChat work. Do a 5-day ManyChat challenge. Teach people how ManyChat works. I promise you, at the end of your 5 days, you'll know how ManyChat works because you don't have any choice. Huh?
I guarantee you that.
Yeah. Well, see, one of the things that people don't realize. I mean, do you think that I knew as much as I know about ManyChat today before I started teaching it in this group a couple months ago?
No, I don't. You have to learn it.
Yeah, exactly. Why did I teach it?
To learn it.
Exactly. It's for me. It's for me. So it's one of the things you can do is, and it's really quite effective, is pick something that you'd like to learn yourself and go ahead and teach it. But remember what the end result is. Are you trying to get people into a coaching program? So, for example, you might, if you consider doing a ManyChat training, what's your end result look like at the end of 5 days of ManyChat training? Are you going to form a coaching group? Are you going to form an ongoing support group? Are you going to have them pay to? What are you trying to accomplish? Yeah. And that's always a question to answer. So there it is. If there's something you want to learn but you haven't learned how to do it yet, just go ahead and learn how to do it. And and many people, it's just like Facebook Lives. I saw a Facebook Live post today by someone who was teaching how to do Facebook Lives. And what she said is what she hears all the time is people say, well, I don't know what to say. Well, That's an easy one. Help people with content. Help people figure out what to say. Help them with content. Content's all over the place. It's really easy to come up with content. So once you've decided what you want to do, these are the core questions. What do I want to sell? Where do I want to lead my prospects, and what do they need to believe in order to join my challenge? It's that simple. What are you trying to accomplish at the end of the day? Because the reality is the challenge is there for a reason. Now, many of the ladies that were doing the challenges, like Lisa Marie Torres, the other ladies, I can't think of her name right now, but their primary objective was to drive traffic to the MLSP $10 10-day trial. That was what they were working at doing.
Right.
And it worked. I did a challenge. I did a couple of challenges, and we did them back in, I think it was 2017 when Laura Slewinski and I did them together. And it worked. I mean, we had one challenge where we had 19 people join the challenge. We did one that was a Facebook challenge, and what we did in the 5 days is on the first day we did an overview of what to put on your profile, and then we talked about posting and content and et cetera, et cetera. And at the end of the 5 days, what we had drifted toward was walking them into the $10 10-day trial, and we had several people come into the trial, and out of that, a couple people stayed and became customers. So that's how that worked. You could do that with attraction marketing. You could do it with Facebook. Next question is, how long should the challenge be? And I've been saying 5 days. 5 days is a reasonable amount for a first challenge if you're trying it out for the first time. And what you want to do is, this comes from MLSP's thinking. You have to form it to your own. But if you're doing a 5-day challenge, you have to come up with minimum 15 to 20 minutes of content a day that you're going to teach. So you're going to start the challenge by going live on Sunday. Tell people what to expect, and then you're going to go live in the group every day. You're going to form a Facebook group. You're going to put them in the group. You're going to go live every day, 15, 20 minutes, half hour. You're going to structure it so that they have one thing to do every day. So, for example, if we were working on a Facebook Live challenge, the first day was to clean up their profile. And one of the things that you could throw into a challenge like that is a profile review. So you review with them what are the key elements that you want to see in their profile, how should they structure it, et cetera, et cetera. And then at the end of then you give them the assignment to go fix their profile, and then you offer them a free profile review so they can post their profile in the group, and you can review it, and everyone else in the group can review it too and make comments, suggestions, et cetera. So, I mean, we have, I forget the number off the top of my head, but we have new people coming into Facebook every day. And if you look at profiles out there, there's a lot of profiles that could use some improvement. So it's not a crazy idea. And then how do you promote the challenge? Well, the ladies that are doing it, and I did it too. I did it in Facebook groups. I did it in spam groups. And one of the things that you can do in spam groups is that if you're promoting a challenge, your challenge will stand out in the spam group because it's not spam. It's got actually content. But here's the trick. The trick is, and there are two tricks to promoting. One is, remember, people have the attention span of a goldfish, and 80% of them are scrolling on their cell phone. So you've got to catch their attention. And the way you catch their attention is with a graphic that may or may not have anything to do with the challenge you're actually running. What we've learned about Facebook advertising and the more recent thinking in Facebook advertising in general is the graphic is irrelevant. The total reason for the graphic is to stop the scroll. That's the total reason. So what can you put up as a graphic that will get people's attention and make them stop and look? And we found that this double dog dare you actually worked. That the dog with the knife in his mouth and the rope, and I used that for 3 different challenges, and it actually worked. people would stop and look at that and would get their attention. So if you're thinking about putting ads up in groups, think about what can you put up as a graphic that's going to get people to just stop scrolling and look at what you're doing. And that's the most important thing. And again, 80% of people are scrolling on their cell phone, and they're scrolling at a phenomenal rate. So, Maggie, I don't know are you trying to say something? I think you aren't hearing, but I don't know how to fix that for you. It's your end. So let me back up. So Facebook groups, in the spam groups, story ads. Story ads get a lot of attention. So what you want to do here is 4-part story ad format. And so the graphic stops the scroll. The graphic may not have anything to do with your story ad, but it stops the scroll. And then the story ad. I was struggling with my own business. I almost quit. Then I found something. Oh my God, it worked. And I'm getting results. Others are too. Would you like to learn how? A simple story. But the graphic is the key. Did you see, try to remember, I don't know if I could go, let me stop the PowerPoint for just a moment. I want to go out to, let me go out to Facebook. Maggie, can you hear us yet? Hi, Maggie. Come on, come on, come on. Did you see that graphic got a lot of attention? Now, it had a story out about dumpster diving, but it got a lot of attention. Every place I put it up, it got attention. So it's amazing the kinds of things that you want to consider doing to get people to stop and look. This one got attention too. That was a good graphic. So they had something to do with the topic that I was talking about, but you got to think a little bit outside the box and think about what you can put up that are going to get people to just stop and look. That doesn't get anybody's attention. You know, irrelevant. People scroll right past that. I don't know if this got much attention or not, but the dumpster diving one and the big wave one, they got attention. So think about what you're going to put up as a graphic. Okay, so tips for posting inside Facebook groups: use a graphic to grab attention, to get people to stop scrolling. Your biggest challenge is stopping the scroll. And when people respond to your post, tag them and use a cute emoji, build rapport, and then send them a private message. Okay? This is really important.
What did you say? So when they respond, you use an emoji?
Yep. Yep. If they respond to your post, yeah, using emoji. So what I mean by that is, okay, there's two responses. One is okay, let's back up. What we're doing here, we're putting a post into a Facebook group, and there are two things. People could respond with a like or a love or one of the, I don't even know what they're called, like or love. You know what I mean, right? Does everybody understand what I mean?
Yeah, the buttons.
Yeah, the little buttons, okay. And they could respond with a comment. But
right.
Let's take the little buttons, because what you're trying to do is now get people for your challenge. So they responded with a button. They liked your graphic.
Okay.
Okay. So now tag them. Go into
So
the
what,
comments.
when you say tag them, if they gave you a thumbs up, how do you tag them?
You go into the comments and you use @ and their name.
At in their name, you mean like the little circle with an A?
The @ sign?
Yeah, yes, yes,
And
yes,
then-
yes.
So,
The little
Like-
circle with an A?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ampersand, the ampersand,
Ampersand.
yeah, whatever it's called. So, you know,
And that tags them? I didn't know that.
hey,
Does that
hang on.
tag them on Facebook or just in a group?
No, hey, on Facebook. Wait, let me just think for a second. What am I trying to do? I want to minimize this piece of the screen so I can get over to Facebook itself. Oh, good. My Facebook is not open, right? It's so. I mean, I'm just on my timeline right now. But Cynthia, Joe, is there somebody? I haven't posted in groups, so I can't go out there and show you a post in a group. Okay, so Keelan De Silva, he made a comment. He put up a sign. He liked or loved this.
right,
Okay,
yeah,
so if I wanted to tag him, let's see. I'm just being curious. If I wanted to tag him, I could go into the comments and I could go @ Keelan.
I know you can do that in groups. I didn't know you could do it on Facebook.
Well, groups are in Facebook.
so
mean-
you put.
Oh, I didn't know I could do it on my profile page.
Yeah. So here's what happens. So see, if I wanted to send him a private message,
Yeah,
by tagging him, I'm ensuring that he's going to get the message. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and tag him because I don't want to do that right now. But I'm ensuring.
Oh, okay. So Len, so would you, after you put @ with their name, would you say I'll PM you?
Yes, you could do that. Tell him you're going to send him a private message. Sure.
Because if you just do the @ with their name, that's it. That's all you would do is.
Well,
And
I think the right thing you would do would be to tell him, yeah, CPM, or I sent a PM.
Okay, yeah,
Okay, so that would be the thing to do, and that way you're basically ensuring that he's going to get your private message.
okay. And if it's someone who put a comment in,
Then you can just go into the comment and answer the comment.
right, and you hit reply in the comment, and then you could say,
Yeah.
you know, go
Sure.
look and,
So in this case, in the case of Sandy, I just hit reply and tell her CPM if I wanted to send her a PM.
yeah, okay. All right, I just didn't know you could do that for those who just, you know, do the thumbs up or whatever emoji response.
So here's the way it if it's working correctly. I don't know. Let me pull this list up. Keelan, I'm not sure I know who he is, which means I should really do something. But let me see. Is he? Okay, so we are already friends. Okay. So that doesn't help. See, if somebody's not your friend, then using the ampersand will tag them in that post. So I don't have any posts out in groups that I could go out and show you a personal example in groups right now.
So like if someone's already your friend, you could still do that anyways, right?
Yes, you could.
But what you're saying is if someone is not a friend and you do it, they for sure will get to
It
see
should,
your,
it should tag them in the post. It should tag them in the post.
and then
Sometimes
once
I go
they're
in and
tagged
block
in the post, once they're tagged in the post, then they can see their message.
Right, and they're going to get a message that you tagged them in the post too.
Okay.
They get a message or it shows up in notification.
I'm sorry, sorry, very good. Good correction, notifications. It shows up in notifications.
That you tag them in the in the comments
Right,
or in the post, whatever it would say.
yes,
And then they go look at that and see that you're telling them you sent a private message.
yes. That's the
Okay.
whole point.
See,
Yeah.
I don't like to, I see people are doing this more and all it's doing this, when you message somebody on these likes and hearts, people are just going to quit giving you any because they'll think, oh, she's going to send me a message. I'm not going to do that. When people do me that way, I tend to just not like their stuff anymore because I don't want to hear from them. You see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think people are, it's like you said the other day, they ruin everything. Just because you like a post does not mean you want to hear from somebody.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. That's your opinion. I don't know that the data would support it right now, but because people are having success doing this stuff. Yeah, and you're right. Not everyone. There's going to be people that are going to push back. But all you're doing at this point, I mean, at this point, you're trying to gather people for your 5-day challenge, for example. So if they like the post, why not send them a message?
Well, now, for that, I can see it. But I'm just saying that
Oh, I agree in general.
every time I like a post, I do not want to hear from somebody.
I
don't think other people do.
absolutely agree. I don't do that. I don't do
it either.
what I do what I do is I do go through and I comment back to people that have made comments.
Right.
I don't
I might
necessarily
say thank you for liking my post or something, but
Yeah.
when I get these messages from people, oh, you like my post, da 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 da, really?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work. I just ignore them.
Yeah.
I think bad marketing.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that one at all. In general, I don't go through and hit on everyone who liked a post.
It's overkill, really.
Yeah. But in this case, where you've got a very specific, you're putting up a post for a very specific reason that you're trying to bring people into your challenge, it's probably worth going ahead
Well,
and,
then it would be. Yeah, I think that's different.
okay.
Too, on liking posts, when people like my post, I tend to go like their stuff too.
Right.
And if they're not paying attention to me, I just, okay.
So carrying on with that, tips for posting inside the groups. Use a graphic, tag them, use an emoji, make a good first impression that you're actually trying to connect with them and not just spam them like everyone else. That's it. So that's one way. Now, of course, if you're going to do a Facebook Live or a Facebook challenge, rather, of course, you're going to advertise into your email list. You're going to advertise into your groups that you've already got. I would presume that you are. So, and the other thing you can do, and so completely up to you if you have a fan page and you're growing a fan page, is that you can put an ad on a fan page and boost it. Once again, we're not going to talk about Facebook advertising tonight, but that world is changing for the same reason. People are scrolling their phones so fast that the ad, it's critical that the graphic be a scroll stopper. And you got to come up with something that people stop to look at. Otherwise, they go right past you. Story ads have been very popular. They're still working. You can write a little short story. And then here's the thing. What I found and what we've typically done is begin the transition. So let me use, we're going to do a 5-day attraction marketing challenge, and we're leading people into the $10 10-day trial in MLSP. When should I bring up the $10 10-day trial? Probably around day 2 or 3, you're going to begin to hint that there's a follow-on. And around day 4, you're going to begin to hint that there's something people can follow on, and you're going to tell them about it tomorrow. And on day 5, you're going to open it up to them and tell them, if you want to continue with me, it's going to cost you $10, and we're going to go on for 10 days, 10 more days. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you're going to bring it up. You notice in selling webinars, the formatted selling webinars these days is that you open the webinar, early in the webinar, you tell people that you have something for them at the end of the webinar if they stay to the end. So that sets the stage that they know that there's something coming. Basically tells them this is a selling webinar. And then as you get close to the end, you get to the point where you say, okay, have you gotten value so far? Would you like to continue working with me? If you would like to continue, here's what I have for you. And if you don't, that's fine. Because you got to bring, you don't want to wait. If you're doing a 5-day challenge, you don't want to wait till 45 minutes into day 5 to spring the surprise that there's a follow-on challenge. You want to begin to condition them a couple or 3 days earlier so that they know that you're going to present something at the end. They're not surprised. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And of course, whatever you're offering at the end, it has to be congruent with your challenge. So, I mean, in your case, you know, France, if you're bringing people into your product line, you're teaching them about the products, and you're doing a 28-day or an 8-day or a 5-day or whatever weight loss challenge, and you're using the products, what you're trying to do is get people into the products, right?
Right.
How did it work out for you, by the way?
With which one? My body transformation?
Either one.
When I did the 5-day home detox challenge, I ended up getting a few people interested in joining Asante, and then it dwindled.
Yeah.
They kind of went by the wayside. But now somebody's coming back in. So, you know, it's hard to tell. As a customer, that is.
Right.
A couple people had signed up thinking they were going to be brand partners, but they just, you know, changed their minds on that. And for the 28-day challenge for the body transformation, I only had a couple of people who did it, who purchased the kit and went through the process, and they had great results. They're very happy. They're going to continue on product and stuff like that. So,
well, that was worth it then.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, most people don't get huge results out of these challenges. When I say most don't get huge results. If you get 10, 15, 20 people into the challenge and 5 of them stay in your follow-on, you're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Out of 10, if you get 1, you're doing good.
Yeah. So, but, you know, for me, and I haven't done any of these recently, and I've been thinking about it. I don't know if I want to do one or not again right now, but I've got too many other things that I'm doing. But for me, back when we did them a couple of years ago, we got a couple of people to come into, at that point in time, MLSP didn't have the $300 level. It was the $150 level. And we got a couple of people to come in at the $150 level. You only need one person. Fundamentally, you only need one person at that level to make MLSP cash flow positive for you. So it's like, well, you need 2 at that level to make it cash flow positive these days. So, I mean, you know, if you're in MLSP and you want to stay there and you get 2 people to come in at the $150 level, you've got your monthly not covered, paid for. I think that might be, that may not be true right now because they changed the structure. I still have people that are grandfathered into the old price structure. So I don't know if someone comes in today, how much you make off them, but, you know, but getting people into your coaching program, getting people into your MLM, getting people into MLSP, these are ways to do it. That's what they're all about. They do work. They do take a fair amount of effort on your part. The biggest effort is the front end, is getting people into the damn challenge. That's the biggest challenge, quite frankly, is getting people into the challenge. Right, France?
Yes.
It takes a lot.
I have a group that I'm co-leader in. And so from that, that's where I was running the challenges from. We have about, I think there's around 400 people in there. When I ran the challenge last year, there must have been maybe 300 people in there. And I think I had about 90 or maybe even 100 people join the challenge. And from that, not all of them were my people, because it was for different
Right.
people
Right.
in the group. But of the people that I had in there, I don't remember what my head count was of how many I got in there. But like I said, I had, 3 or 4 who decided to do some purchasing and, thinking of doing something, and then it fizzled out.
So when the challenge is over, do they leave that group? Does it end? What happens with them?
Well, it's up to you what you do with the group. You can leave it, you can deactivate it, or you can leave it up and, invite other people to go in there. And I've left it up, and I've got people, if someone's interested in learning about it, I'll add them to the group and allow them, then they can just search out day 1, day 2, day 3, and watch the Facebook Lives and get the information. Some people just say shut it down, like leave it open for a week or 2, because people might not have been able to get everything done right away. So give them time to complete the things they might have not gotten to. And then, what is it called when you archive it, right? You can archive a Facebook group. It doesn't go away, but you can bring it back to life when you want.
If you are doing multiple challenges one after the other, which a couple of ladies in MLSP did, then what they did is they had a group that was the current challenge group, and then they moved everybody from that group into a archive. Not an archive. It wasn't the word archive. It's the right word. Another group. They had 2 groups running, and one group was always the active group, this week's challenge. And then the other group was, they just accumulated people in the group. They did the same thing with their email list. They had two email lists running, this week's list and the mature list. And I started to do that at one point when we did multiple challenges in a row. That became, to be honest with you, that became a nightmare to manage. It just became a nightmare. It wasn't worth it.
One of the recommendations is just to leave them all in that same group, because
Right.
a lot of times people will want to go through it again. And, maybe when they go through it again, now they're ready to buy where they weren't before.
Yeah. And that's in fact what I ended up doing in the end, is I ended up just not even bothering with all of this screwing around with the groups. I just left the group open and put more people into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That made more sense to me, because otherwise you're just making an enormous amount of work for yourself. And I mean, who cares? Why is it a big deal that someone's in the group who was in last week's challenge? I mean,
Right.
People, if you leave it open, people will go in there and private message people, because they got some of the same products, sell them. They'll take them from you in a heartbeat. You leave it open. I mean,
Well, what do you mean open? Do you mean public? Because I don't allow.
Yeah, I mean, if the group is where anybody can join it,
nope.
Then people are just going to.
They're not public groups. Yeah.
It can be a closed group, but when I have 3, 4, 5 closed groups. But once you let them in, they still have. They can do whatever they want. They can go contact people, do whatever they want, and they do.
Sure, they do. Sure, that can happen. But that's
it's people join groups just to make contacts with like-minded people. That's why we're all in groups. So, I mean, if you're not constantly in touch with these people and doing something with them, somebody else is going to be over here taking them. So I don't know what you do.
That,
can happen in any-
that is a risk everywhere we are on social media at all times. I would just, personally, I'd just get that out of my thought processes. That's just negative thinking. Let it go. It's not
Well,
something,
I think that's what people join groups to do, though. To learn to meet other people. You go in groups to make contact with people. That's the only reason people go in groups. Talk to people, make contact with people.
sure.
That's
Sure.
what they do. That's what they're designed to do, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's all I had for you tonight. We'll see you
Okay.
Thursday. See you Thursday for Q&A. I'll try to put the correct link up. The link doesn't change from week to week. It's the same link every week. So you'd think I'd have that figured out by now. I put my personal room link up tonight instead of the link for this group. So so I screwed it up. Anyhow, my apologies for that. I'm going to stop the